One of my favorite, if not the favorite franchise, is the Legend of Zelda series. Something about a Peter Pan mixed with Legolas going up against like mythological creatures, which is what I thought of when the first Legend of Zelda came out. That one came out in like this gold cartridge thing back then. It was a big thing back then to have this gold cartridge. My dad got it like a day early. He used to be a Kmart manager, and he told me about this game like you can have a battery save on it or something. You can save on some battery or something, and I'm like, what? What the heck is that? So, but after we got it, I was pretty addicted to the game. It was one of those games where it's a lot of me and my friends had a lot of fun trying to discover the secrets on there, and like it's fun figuring out which if this bomb will work on this one, that jingle when the hole comes up, and burning the bushes to find stairs and stuff. So all that was really fun. And then me and my friends at school telling each other where all the secrets were the dungeons, because some of those dungeons were pretty cryptic to find. But my friends and I were helping each other out. Of course, then you got Nintendo Power, which kind of helped us through it. I beat that game like over 255 times. I know this because it stops at 255 when you see how many times you beat the game. But I just kept going and going and going for some reason on that second quest. But yeah, I really Legend of Zelda is probably my second favorite game. When Zelda 2 came out, like the year after, it was like the year or two after, and I remember being really excited to get it. It was quite different than the first Legend of Zelda because this one was more of like a side scroller RPG type. But I love Zelda 2. I don't know. The plot on there was pretty dark about spreading Link's blood onto some ashes to raise Ganon or something. It's weird. But it was a really hard game, and I remember it uses like magic, and you like turn into a fairy. I always like turning into a fairy because you can actually just bypass most of the levels. Some of them were really hard. But I remember being at my friend's house at the end of the game trying to beat the last guy. We swore up and down it was Ganon, but it's Dark Link. But I beat him, and I remember we were all really excited and like hugging each other that we beat Zelda 2. But I really like Zelda 2. I think a lot of people just give it a bad rap, but I like the fact that Nintendo took chances with it. When Zelda 3 came out, which is A Link to the Past, that one's up there in my favorite. That's probably my third favorite. I like the fact that they took the Legend of Zelda and made it more 16-bit, better graphics, what you expect on the Super Nintendo. So, but one thing I liked was knocking enemies into pits. That's actually pretty funny. Um, but I don't know, it's a fun game. It's just basically Legend of Zelda, just souped up, and you have like two different worlds on there, and it's a really cool game. I really like it. Ocarina of Time for the 64. That one was one of the few games I got everything on. And of course, it was like the first 3D Zelda game, but I don't think that the game has really stood the test of time. I know a lot of people still like that game, and it was regarded as like the best game of all time, but I just felt like the game kind of aged poorly. So, but it's still a great game. It's just not really one of my favorites. Um, but Majora's Mask, I try to get into that one. It seems like a really intriguing game because it seems like a different Zelda game, but every time I play it, I just get really bored and I just end up shutting it off. Well, hopefully, I'll have like a playthrough of it sometime to see it from beginning to end for the first time, but I just can't get through it because it's too damn boring. Um, After Ocarina of Time came Twilight Princess. I got it for the GameCube, and that's my favorite Zelda game of all time. I wish that the music in that game was orchestrated because then it would just be even more awesome than what it already is. I remember like I was off work for 2 days just to play that game. I love that game. I beat it and then I played it again, and I still love that game. I had my doubts because of that wolf thing that's on there, but I actually enjoyed the wolf as well. I enjoyed the whole game. It's my favorite Zelda. After that one came what? Oh wait, Wind Waker was the one that came before that. Sorry, I missed Wind Waker. I can't believe I missed that one. Um, Wind Waker, it was we made Twilight Princess as an apology for Wind Waker because they made it into a cartoon and people were expecting that tech demo that they released. But I liked Wind Waker. I just felt Wind Waker was really boring, but I liked where they were going with it with the whole cartoon graphics. I just felt that the game just wasn't executed well. Like I don't know, I just felt like some of the islands he went to was kind of boring, especially the towns, but the most boring thing on there was collecting Triforce pieces and that with that sea chart. They tried to make it better with the HD release, but they could have made up for the two dungeons that they X'd off to save time. And they even apologize. Um, what did I play? Oh, Skyward Sword for the Wii. I actually hated Skyward Sword. The controls for Skyward Sword was that Motion Sensor Plus, and I hated Motion Sensor Plus. Most of the time I couldn't really control it, or you had to calibrate it. And I got to the first dungeon, and I can barely control it, and I got fed up with it. Never played it. I hope there's a re-release that doesn't rely on Motion Sensor Plus, and maybe I'll actually get through the game and have a better review of it. But as of right now, it's my least favorite Zelda game. Um, but then after Skyward Sword came Breath of the Wild, and notice I didn't have really any handheld games on this one. I really didn't play it. I played Minish Cap, but I don't really remember much of it. I didn't play Link's Awakening. But anyway, Breath of the Wild is probably my fifth favorite. I like the open world gameplay on it. I just felt like the world itself can be pretty boring, but I like the whole exploring aspect of it. And I did try to get everything on it, but I accidentally beat the game. But the graphics were pretty good, and I liked making those different costumes for Link and him making the different kinds of food and stuff. But I thought the bosses were pretty boring, like those Blight Ganons, because they're all pretty much the same. And then Ganon himself was just really easy, Calamity Ganon. But all in all, I thought the game was pretty decent. But that's my take on all the Zelda games. I think it's a great franchise and it has an excellent soundtrack. Uh, loved it to pieces. Um, Next time I'm gonna have a movie franchise thing. So anyway, for stop, Brian. Fuck you, Brian.